Oh no, this is really doing another video. It's quite interesting this phone because it's actually darker than it appears. I can see better through I can see better through the camera than I can actually out the window. It's a bit weird. Maybe they should have a special lens I can put on my eye. That'd be good for that kind of. Right, we're going to talk about some things like you could kind of interpret things that people see that are not there. You can interpret two ways. It's a hallucination, so it's could be some kind of maybe said a chemical imbalance, or it's some kind of experience. I guess both ways it's an experience. You can have the both. You could have an imbalance but be picking up on something. So you can't really say, well, yes, you just made it all up in your head, it's not real, or the reverse of that, and turn around and say, well, yeah, it's got to be a ghost because it's happened before in this house, you know, all these sorts of things. So I recently had an experience with a client. I went into the client's property. The client is 90 years old, so but he's fairly active, and the only signs of memory issues he's got, or forms of dementia, is usually the answer about what's it like outside, like the weather. I mean, everything else seemed fine, but then he remembers other things. He said one of the carers gave him a kiss, and it might be a fantasy made up in his head, but it also demonstrates something that happened very short term. He thought was meaningful. He remembered, so he's not like he's incapable of memory. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bothered to remember to have told me that. But then again, I don't know when that exactly happened. I would, you know, when someone tells you news, you usually think that, oh, it's something recent must have happened. It could be something he's recalled that could have happened weeks and months ago. So I entered in, he was sat on this chair and that lot. I may have actually prompted his hallucination because he said, oh, it's the lovely whatever been here, so I'm going to mention it by name, but it was one of the other female sort of carers, and he said, well, I don't think he made comment much on that, but I said hello and stuff, and I was doing something. I was standing in front of him, and he went, oh, hello, like that, and I thought, hey, and he was sort of looking over my shoulder. Hello, hello. I went, and he went, hello, and he said, that was the other person. The other person. I looked round. Yeah, he said they were by the door. And I realised that the door wasn't. It was on like the catch, so it wasn't. It was in a block of flats. So when the door closes, I mean, there's a lot of people that are elderly, and it's quite common they don't lock their doors, and so the door was kind of. It was ajar, put it that way. It was on the catch, so somebody could open the door and peek through or something. You know, it is possible. And he said, yeah, someone was behind you. You know, the back. I'm thinking, oh. And he seemed adamantly sure. And I was like, well, you know, I didn't believe him, but a part of me said, you need to take it seriously. And so then I sort of had a check, and I pushed the bathroom door, because there's only a little corridor behind me, it's not like a massive distance, and there's nothing in there, and nothing in his bedroom. But as I walked down the corridor, I felt this kind of like an electric sensation. That's what it is, like static, you know, like shivers up your spine and stuff, which made me wonder, well, maybe there is something here that he's picked up on, or it's what happens if you're being stalked in like the other prey and you've got to defend yourself. You might enter a more heightened sensory state, and actually the electric sensations in my own nervous system. You know, if anything had moved, I would have reacted to it really quickly. So it's what do they call that? Sort of enhanced sensory perception, maybe. For for a short period of time. Eventually the feeling went away. Yeah, probably took a couple of minutes. That kind of something's near me. But you can sometimes feel that with like a hot breath against you, or that kind of sensation of something close. But maybe it's not something that has any kind of physical bearing necessarily, or like a draft where you can sense it on your body. But this is an electric feeling went up my spine, so different. And that could be like it's just a reaction to his reaction. What we call these like mirror neurons and stuff. And I mean, for him, he might suffer a bit of dementia, so things like possible delusions are more common. So if you see a flapping shirt in the wind, you might think that's a person from a distance, and then you might realise it's not, or you might make a reference to something like that. It's based on some reality. As it could have been that I cast a shadow, and for that visual small period of time, he saw something. However, he was very adamant there was something there, and I did try to ask him about it, but he didn't. He clammed up a little bit. He probably thought, or either that, just that particular period of time for memory, because I mean, he can ask within a minute the weather twice. What's it like out there? And it'll be quiet for about 30 seconds, and I might talk about something, and he goes, so what's it been like out there? And I'm like, we're having a looped conversation. But I mean, just because of someone's health, their mental state, and so on, you can't necessarily disbelieve what they're telling you. What you need to do is put it through a process of analysing the probability of something. My concern, if it was something more supernatural, would it cause him problems when I left? Was it an attachment to me in some way, or was it taking an interest in that? And then there's that electric thing I can't really explain, but rarely happens. That could be some type of defence mechanism that we don't rarely use. Like if you were hiding from a predator, you might have this sensory perception of being very acute senses to the environment. So you could feel them around you. I mean, there are other. It could be that we have some skills that we don't really tap into, like the way sharks can pick up on electric fields of things, stuff like that. So humans could be quite possible of doing that at a lower level. We might use that in a kind of cave environment or something. Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of interesting to explore paranoid delusions and potential of supernatural occurrences. Yeah. Anyway, so we can sign off and speak to you soon.